What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily horoscope for Wednesday, December 16th, 2020. Brian here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I missed you guys. I really appreciate you being here. I know I've been gone for a few days. Feels good to be back. It's crazy because I started doing these videos April 14th, on my mom's birthday actually, and I haven't missed a video since I started, so trust me, in the back of my mind, the whole time I was gone, I was thinking about how wild it is that I'm not putting this content out there. So I just want to say thank you for being patient, if you've been waiting or anything like that. A lot went down this last weekend and Monday with the solar eclipse. I'm recording this on Tuesday. Like, a lot of major things have happened, and like, we'll go back to that solar eclipse in Sag a little bit at 23 degrees. South node was close at 19 degrees, so it was 4 degrees. That's why it was a total eclipse, because the closer the planets are to the nodes, or the knots in Latin, that's where we get the more powerful eclipses. So this was a very powerful total solar eclipse in Sagittarius with the South node. So this really is rewriting a lot of stories in our life, and where we get our information, who the gurus are. It's really this pivotal cycle that ended and began, and it's like, are we going to rewrite the story of our own self, of our own future, especially with Mars? You know, it's trining that South node, it's sextile the North node in Gemini from Aries, and it's like, are we going to rewrite the story of ourself and move forward into new adventures within what we can create for ourselves and where we are? And is this changing travel? This is changing so many things, right? You know, Sag is like the guru, kind of, it's the wisdom, the teacher, but it's also it's the student as well. So it's like, where we get our information right now is so important. And with Neptune squaring these nodes, and with Saturn just finishing up here in Capricorn, I mean, literally on Thursday, we don't see Saturn in Capricorn anymore for the next 27 years. So it's a big time, and Jupiter is right there at 29 degrees too. I mean, this is edgy, risky Capricorn territory, where you're either going to rewrite your story and kind of go against the norms of what society is doing, Capricorn, and move into this Aquarian energy of stepping into rewriting the story from your own space, from your own heart, and going towards something that makes you feel individuated in your truth and connected to something bigger. And it's going to be difficult. Like, we're coming into a very interesting 6 months here. A lot's going to happen. We're going to have Saturn and Jupiter square Uranus in Taurus. This is major energy of stepping into our benevolence, I would say, stepping into our own light, and being able to like connect to the right things in life. But we need to disconnect from what isn't of the light, from what isn't bringing us some sort of hope of something better. And anything that tries to tell you that, you know, you should be shamed or bad for stepping into your truth or living in your divine essence of who you are, like, that's dark energy, and that's what we need to disconnect from. And rules are going to be rewritten. Things are going to change. Like, traveling is about to get really difficult. And I'll be honest with you guys, I got on a plane for that solar eclipse, and I did not want to do it, but nothing on the trip that I just went on went like I had planned or I anticipated it would go, which is so South Node Sag, to go on a vacation somewhere that isn't of my environment, a new place, meet up with new people, you know, and nothing went according to plan. It was very unfulfilling. It was a fun adventure, and I really enjoyed the experience, but there's that South Node aspect to it. And then plans changed again on that trip, and I had to get a flight home on Monday because I have my son this week, and I had to get home. So I got the flight. Oh my gosh. Like, I was not happy to get on the plane knowing the astrology and to know there was a solar eclipse the South Node in Sag. It was not like ideal, but you know, I made it. So it's not that like we can't do those things, but it was a weird experience, even at the airport. Like I've been on airplanes plenty of times in the past. It just happened to be like one of those times where I got randomly selected for bomb residue. My bags got randomly searched. Like, like I don't have anything illegal or anything to hide or whatever, but still, like, it's just every little thing that could have got me almost did. Luckily, the flight was smooth. But yeah, I was like on the plane, like I'm just gonna sleep and like meditate the whole time, like not think about it because I was almost tripping myself out a little bit. And the travel's gonna change even more. It's gonna get harder. Like the last time we had eclipses with these nodes in these places of South Node Sag, North Node Gemini was around 9/11, and travel changed then. Travel changed with the airports, TSA, because we all know why. And it wasn't just like the same thing anymore. So things are changing. I'm very lucky and grateful that I was able to just make it home. But we're coming into a whole new story, a whole new idea of where we get information, how we get it, where we go, what we can like really explore. And I think that there is a very benevolent energy to Sagittarius, of course, being the home of Jupiter, with, of course, Jupiter in fall position, the dispositor of Sagittarius, you know, with Saturn in Capricorn, almost done. There's just this energy through this next 6 months of like more restrictive energy, and we have to use it to our advantage and make sure that we handle the stuff more close by and make the smart moves that we can make and really take action for what in our life is really going to make a difference where we're at, and not go looking throughout the world for something right now. I think that's important. I think I learned it firsthand in a sort of a North Node Gemini kind of way. It's almost like I had to do the experiment for myself, which, you know, was good. It was a good experience, but it wasn't what I thought it would be. Did I have a good time? Yes. But that's kind of the energy of that solar eclipse, was like finally getting back home. And I remember just being like so happy to be back home and grateful that I made it and that I had my son and everything was good. And it's like those little things in life are so important right now. But more importantly, it's about really writing this new chapter of your life and letting go with this mutable energy of these eclipses, letting go of the darkness, right? Because Sagittarius comes after Scorpio, which is dark. It's regenerative, you know, deaths, beginnings. And Sag is like the hope of a new beginning, and that's what we're in right now. Is that the big hope of a new beginning? And we got to write that story for ourselves and not be spelled by this strong Neptune in Pisces, which is very media related, of what the whole world needs to do, projecting the Saturn and the Capricorn and Pluto all there with, you know, Jupiter. This big, it's false. There's so much false stuff out there, and somehow we got to come and find that truth. And that truth isn't going to be in the newspapers. It's not going to be on the TV. That truth, you're going to know it within you. And you just have to step into that story and rewrite that one that truly feels intuitively natural to you, because Sagittarius is natural universal law also. So there is beauty and benevolence to this time if you see through the matrix and if you see through the false stuff that's going on, and if you can actually find some truth and some hope and some belief that makes you feel more connected to something bigger instead of what's trying to keep you stuck trying to figure out something that nobody understands down here. Because nobody understands anything right now. Even like the vaccine, right? Like it says it's a 90%, it's okay. But then you look at like the numbers for COVID and it's like 99% chance it's not going to end anything, and it's not going to. So that's pretty, 99% chance it's not going to get you is pretty good if you look at the numbers. I'm not like a mathematician or anything, but that's pretty good. And then the vaccine's a 90% chance that it'll save you. It's just interesting math. again, I'm not a professional, but what's being projected on us, we got to look at that very, very intensely right now. And then as we come into today being the 16th, Wednesday, we're going to have that moon in Capricorn for the final time with Jupiter and Saturn. And Jupiter and Saturn, well, Saturn actually, is going to be just coming in and ingress into Aquarius right before the moon conjuncts it. And that exact will be at 0 degrees of Aquarius, where Jupiter is going to meet. And they're already they're 29 degrees. They're within 30 minutes. Like they're nothing. It's already here, and it's in Capricorn at 29 degrees today. So there is a lot of restrictive Capricornian energy, but it's like, are we going to step into our truth and rewrite the structure of our life and the structure of the story that we want to live? And are we going to, fully embody that from within ourselves? Or are we going to give it away to someone else? Like this Mars in Aries, 21 degrees, coming up on Eris. Like, we got to really kind of rebel and like step away from anything that isn't of like the true passion of life, and not be spelled into some sort of crazy, chaotic world that's trying to be pushed on us by something bigger. But even bigger than that something is something amazing and of the light that wants to really show people that there's a way out of everything in life. So when we start to feel restricted, or we start to feel like things are crashing down on us, there's always a light there to let you know that things get better. And it's just if you can embody that. Venus is going to ingress into Sagittarius as well. So this is nice. Venus coming out of detriment of Scorpio. This is opening up new doors to people in our life that are going to help bring that light. That are going to help, show us more of the way. But more than anything, it's like, how can we embody our values within ourselves and expand on those and grow on those? There's a lot of fire in the chart right now, so there's a lot of energy. My cat's on the window. There's so much energy that like needs us to really like step into the passion, to step into the courage, to be prideful of who you are, and to not give that energy away to somebody else over something that what's really being projected out there. Like major things are coming. There's just a lot of change. And how can we, get through the change with hope that like there will be better times, there will be light. And that's what every one of us has to do as a light worker, as a spiritual being, that's connected to the divinity, the divine, the heavens, is to hold that light through these times and to see that like that's where the true beauty is going to be found. That's where the true harmony is in life. Come here, cat. Just knock over all my stuff over there. And just let things walk across your desk and just let the things be, because certain things we can have control over and certain things we can't. Like I can't really stop the cat unless I locked it out of the room. Like otherwise the cat's going to do what it's going to do. And there's just like the world's going to do what it's going to do, but can we hold that value and expand within ourselves right now and connect to that something bigger and connect to our intuition? Like Sagittarius is very intuitive, especially being connected to Jupiter. It's the god of all gods. Like there's a very spiritual, connected essence to that energy. And the more we can step in and embody that when it comes to people in our life. Remember, during the solar eclipse, we had Venus at 29 degrees of Scorpio with Juno sextiling Jupiter and Saturn. I mean, this was really like showing you that you can have that connection, that ultimate embodiment of what a relationship should be. But if it's not there right now, it's probably not going to get there. And I think that we need to be able to expand and look for new aspects when it comes to people, and especially within ourself, of our ultimate values, to make sure that we're connecting to the right things. Aquarius is the great connector, but it's also the great disconnector. So we're coming into this time of where we have to take a risk to disconnect from what isn't of the truth, from what isn't of the society that we want to be a part of, and come into that really, really powerfully with this Mars. Because when Mars comes in Taurus in mid-January, things are going to change. There's not going to be as much drive and courage, and we're going to have to really embody that. And especially with Saturn and Jupiter coming into square Uranus in Taurus, it's like if you aren't taking that stairway to heaven within yourself of your own core values, let's not forget that Jupiter and Saturn The last conjunction they made was in Taurus. So that 20-year cycle is ending and this new one in Aquarius is beginning. And it's like if you don't have your value and you don't have the love within you, then you're not going to be able to disconnect and be smart about what you want to move forward with in life. So there's a lot going on. Pluto and the moon are going to meet today, as well as Jupiter. So I would say that there's a lot that we're going through as we step into this time, especially coming right off of an eclipse. But, you know, we're trying to find these structures of our life that are worth the risk, that are worth the transformation that we've gone through, that are worth looking through what is just the mundane, what is being projected on us, but to see that ultimate truth that you feel within you. And there might not even be hard evidence or scientific proof on the matter, but there's something to say that the divine sciences have been going on since the beginning of time, and they've held true the entire time. And the sciences that we've been living in today, they're always changing, they're always getting rewritten, they're always getting proven one way or the other. So what science do you want to follow? And that's what Aquarius is too. It's like the scientist. And we're coming into that time, especially square Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius in modern astrology. Saturn is too in traditional, so they're both the rulers. This is like a test, an experiment to see if people are in their value and if they're going to take their stairway to heaven or if they're just going to give it away. And they don't have a value of their own and they're just listening to some other value that's being projected on them. Is it even of a value? Does it really give you value? Or is it just fear projected out there? And I think we have to remember to find the ultimate love for ourselves and to have the courage to be in that love and to not let the great experiments that are coming, we don't have to be part of the experiment if we don't want to. That's the beauty of it. Mercury's a degree away today. It's going to come to 24 degrees. It's going to be a degree away from the sun. So we're about to see Mercury combust the sun, or the sun combust Mercury. We're getting all the messages from a higher place. And it's what we do with those messages. And if we're going to get lost in all the projections of Neptune right now, being so strong and squaring these nodes, giving you a choice between going towards something new and exciting or holding on to something old and boring, or not even boring, but just, it's where the South Node is right now. It's unfulfilling. So you're going to hold on to something unfulfilling because of fear, or go towards the light of Gemini. Remember, the Pleiades are in Gemini. Aldebaran, Archangel Michael, like there's a benevolent path that can be taken, and we have to find that path. And I know I've covered a lot in this horoscope, but I missed some days, so I just kind of wanted to ramble. But where are we going? And, this Neptune's very strong too, and it is the media, but it's also spirituality. Neptune is the most spiritually connected planet, so it's like, if you have that connection and you can see through the falsities of what's going on in the world, you're going to have that love, that ultimate love. Neptune is the highest frequency of love there is also. But we can be deceived by love if it's not of unconditional love, and it's just of conditional love. And that's the great duality of Neptune. Chiron goes direct today. So here we are. Dealt with a lot of wounds, and now we're moving forward. We're going to have Venus starting to trine this Chiron. So it's really about finding that ultimate adventure of the courage within you and not thinking that you have to be part of some experiment to be whole in life. Like you already are whole. You already are divine. You are of the light. And the only thing that's going to try and take you out of that is dark shit. We don't want that. And even Black Moon Lilith here in Taurus was trining Pluto and the moon on Monday for the solar eclipse. The ultimate value is of yourself. And it's not selfish to value yourself. It's not selfish to know that you are the greatest thing on this planet, that you are of the ultimate worth because you are a piece of this reality. You are a piece of Source incarnate in this body. And you have to embody that love 100%. and literally tell other energy that tries to take you out of that for whatever, pointing the finger, guilting, shaming. It doesn't matter. You need to tell that energy to fuck off, especially trine Pluto. Like, there's a great transformation going on, and if you don't have your values and you don't have the story that you want to write for yourself, it's going to be hard. And there's a lot of experiments that are going to take place. So we have to decide for ourselves if we're going to experiment in our own life to have something better and rewrite a better new story, or if we're going to be part of the agenda and be part of that story. And a lot of people are, and that's their choice. And I'm not going to say that that's wrong. If that's where you're at, that's where you're at. And I know a lot of people will probably say that I'm wrong or I'm crazy. That's that. I trust in something bigger, even though my free will still has me do crazy things like get on an airplane on a solar eclipse in Sag. You better believe I prayed to God and I told God that I'm not going to fear this, and if this is what was meant to happen, and if it goes down or whatever, like, so be it. I shed all fear from that trip, and I said, if this is it, this is it. Like, I want to continue the mission here, but if I was too foolish and I used my free will against, my greatest purpose, then I'll do it again another time. But I made it, so the mission continues. And I think that that's what this is mainly about, is the mission continues. We're still at that very edgy degree of Capricorn, 29 with Jupiter and Saturn. I mean, they're conjunct right now. It's amazing. You can see them in the sky. It's a big deal. It's the two biggest energies that we have finishing a major cycle and starting a new one. And it's about the people. It's about the people in our lives with Aquarius. It's about humanity. But it's not just everybody. You have to disconnect from what isn't of your light and connect with the people that are going to innovate and go into the world with you that you want to go into, because there's going to be the biggest split. I mean, we've already seen it, but it's not going to just go away. So that's what we're living in right now. And there's a lot that points to being courageous. There's a lot that points to a universal understanding, but not getting lost outside of yourself in the world. Let's see what the card is for the day. The Seven of Wands upright. It's kind of a funny card. It's just like like I can't get over that. Like the zombie's coming and he's just like, like you can't give up. Like even when you think that you've had it figured out, you have to keep going forward. Then the more that, you can press forward with your own values, with your own courage, with your own passion, the less that you're going to feel like the zombies are just coming to get you. But if you're just going to put your hands up and say, I don't know where my values are, I don't know where my courage is, they're going to get you. And that's how that's going to go. So, I love you all very much. I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed. I hope there's a good energy to this eclipse. So, it just depends on where you're at in evolution here, where you're at. If you're watching this channel, likely you're doing pretty well. So I wish you all the best, and I will see you tomorrow for a much more structured and organized horoscope. Love you all. Peace.